For lesson 22, it's going to be broke down over a few days. And the first day, we're just going to kind of introduce angle relationships in triangles. So we're going to start off here with an example, and it says an architect needs to know the angle measures of the roof shown in the photo. The triangle to the right models the shape of the roof. What is the sum of the angle measures of the triangle? So the sum means if I added all of the angles together in the triangle. So angle 4, oops, that's a little bit bigger. Angle 2 and angle 5. So angle 2 plus angle 4 plus angle 5. And they want to know, what does that equal? Well, every single triangle, no matter what, as long as it's a triangle, all three angles add together to be 180 degrees. So we need to know that. All triangles equal 180 degrees. So if I added angles 2, 4, and 5 together, I am going to get 180 degrees. Now, knowing that, I can figure out what these angles are. So if I look, they gave me, next to angle 4, they gave me a 160-degree angle. So that angle added to angle 4 would make 180. So 180 minus 160 would leave me with 20. So angle 4 would be 20 degrees. And then if I go over to the other side where angle 5 is, they gave me the outside angle is 140. So if I added that to the angle 5, I would get 180 because it makes a straight line as well. So 180 minus 141 is 39. Now, because I have two angles, I can figure out the third one. So 20 plus 39 plus x, which would be angle 2, is going to equal 180 degrees. 20 plus 39 is 59. And then I would have to subtract 59 from 180. And I would get 121. So knowing that, with the given information here and knowing that the three angles of a triangle equal 180, we were able to figure out those three angles. All right, for this one, we're going to look at the figure off to the right. And how do we know that angle 1 equals angle 4 and angle 3 equals 5? So here's 1 and here's 4. Here's 3 and here's 5. What kind of angles are they? Well, they're inside of the parallel lines, and those lines going this way are like transversals. So there's two transversals here. Those yellows, 1 and 4, are on opposite sides of that transversal, but inside the parallel lines. So that's alternate interior angles. And if you look at angle 3 and 5, they are the same thing, just on a different transversal. So how do we know? Because they are alternate interior angles, and all those angles have the same measure. Now part B wants us to write an equation for the sum of the measures of angles 1, 2, and 3. How do we know the sum of these angle measures? So if I look at angles 1, 2, and 3, they're all right here. So what do they make, all three of them put together? They make a straight line, or a straight angle. So if I added 1, 2, and 3 together, I would get 180 degrees because they make a straight line. So angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180. And then the question says, how do we know the sum? They make a straight angle. And then C, use your answers from problems 2A and 2B to find the sum of the measures of the angles in the triangle 2, 4, and 5. So I'm going to erase everything that I wrote on here. And if I added 2, 4, and 5 together, what would I get? Well, I know that all three of those are inside of a triangle, so I know it's going to be 180. But because all three of these equal 180, angle 1 and angle 4 have the same measure, and angle 3 and angle 5 have the same measure. We talked about that earlier. So that's another way of how I know these three angles equal 180 in the triangle, because they're the same angles that make that straight angle at the top. And then this question says, are these triangles similar? And we need to explain. I can look at a couple of different things. Number one, this angle with one mark with one arc goes with this angle. So those are the same. This angle here with 2 goes with this angle here with 2 arcs. So if I know 2 out of the 3 angles are the same or congruent, then I know my triangles are similar. Another way to figure this out is to write proportions. So this side length here between those 2 angles given is 10. And the side length on this triangle is 8. And that should be equal to the same distance, the same ratio on a different side of the triangle. So for the other one, I'm going to look at this one. Notice I'm going off of the angle with one arc. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So it's 15 and 12. Notice I put the larger triangle on the top, the smaller on the bottom. You could have flipped them around, but they have to match up. So you could have had 8 over 10 and 12 over 15. It's still the same thing. We just have to see if these are equal to each other. So 10 over 8, I can cut those in half. 10 over 8 is 5 over 4. And then 15 over 12, they would reduce to, I can reduce both of them by 3. They would reduce to 5 over 4. So they reduce to the same thing. Another way to check this out is to cross multiply. 10 times 12 is 120. And then multiply the other way. 8 times 15. That would be 80 and 40. That equals 120. So if those equal the same, then I know I have similar, or I have a proportion, similar ratios. So yes. So I just showed you 2 different ways. Write the fractions and reduce them and see if you get the same answer, or cross multiply and see if you get the same answer there. Either way works. All right, for our last one, it says the triangle below models a section of the supports you might see in a construction crane. What is the sum of the angle measures of the triangle? Show your work. So I have to show what angle measures here. So they gave us this angle right here is 90 degrees, and it's formed with this transversal and the parallel lines. So if it forms 90 degrees on the top, it's going to form 90 degrees at the bottom. So angle 4 and angle 5 would also be 90-degree angles. So I was given this angle is 60. I know this angle is 90. I have to figure out what angle 2 is. So 60 degrees plus 90 degrees plus angle 2, which we'll call x, equals 180 degrees. So the sum of the angle measures in the triangle is 180. Now we need to figure out what that missing angle is. So 60 plus 90 is 150. Plus something gives us 180. And then 180 minus 50 is 30. So angle 2 is 30. So 60 plus 90 plus 30 equals 180 degrees.